Hey guys, it's Adam, welcome back to another monthly recap. If you have seen the previous ones, you know I spent a little bit too much money in the last 2 months, so this one ended up being a lot more humble, which also means it's a bit shorter video, but I see that it's a good thing because the previous episodes were a little bit too long. So let's not waste any more time than necessary and let's get started. So there were not too many game releases this month that I was really interested in. One of them was Pikmin 1 Plus 2, and yes, I know the colors on my camera are a bit off. I can't really fix that right now, so we're going to have to deal with that for this video. These are a little bit of a remasters of Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 2. I'm saying a little bit because as I've seen Digital Foundry reviews of these games, they didn't really do too much to the games. I think they're still running 1080p, maybe even 30 FPS. I don't exactly remember their technical analysis, but I definitely wasn't too satisfied with the upgrades, but I've got them anyway because now I already have Pikmin 3 and Pikmin 4, and I didn't have the first two games to begin with. I think they were released on GameCube or maybe Wii, I'm not sure, but I don't have those, so this was a good opportunity for me to catch up with the series. And another series that I've just got caught up a little bit was Mortal Kombat. I haven't purchased any Mortal Kombat games before, so this is actually my first one, which is kind of a remake of the first, or maybe a reboot of the series. I'm not too familiar with the series. I'm much more interested in Tekken, but I have family members who are more into Mortal Kombat, so I decided to buy this so we can play it together. And as you may have been able to see, regardless of the camera issues, this is the premium edition, so it has some DLC included, namely, well, it just says pre-order bonus content and combat pack, which doesn't really say what it includes, but I think it includes new characters. Oh, it actually says on the back. So premium edition includes 6 new playable characters, that's actually nice, 5 new cameo characters. I think this cameo is like other characters jumping into the fight during the fight, if I've seen correctly from gameplay videos. It also says 1 week early access for DLC characters, but I'm not sure what really that means. So I guess I'm not getting those DLC characters, I can just purchase them sooner or something like that. It's not immediately obvious whether those DLC characters are actually included or not. But it also includes a Jean-Claude Van Damme skin for Johnny Cage. And Jean-Claude Van Damme was kind of my childhood hero when I was growing up. I was watching a lot of Jean-Claude Van Damme videos, so that's a good one. And I actually got 2 copies of this, because the first one I've got, as you can... is there anything that I should hide? Maybe not. But as you guys can see, the back of it is Italian, so this is an Italian cover version, and I wanted to get an English cover version, so I haven't opened this one, and I was looking for trying to get an English cover version, and I luckily did manage to get one, so I will be selling this one. And the last game I've got this month, because like I said, this was a much more humble month. These were pretty much just pre-orders that I have ordered previously, I mean those two. But there is one game that I've purchased just because it was almost out of stock everywhere. It was Ghost Runner, the first Ghost Runner game. The second game is coming up, I think next month or maybe the month after, but I realized that the first game was almost out of stock everywhere. I think there was only one store, or no, maybe there was 2 of them that I could order it from, and after I've ordered it, they actually took it off the website, so they ran out of stock as well. So I was lucky to get my hands on Ghost Runner in a physical edition, because otherwise I would have only been able to purchase this digitally, although I guess I could have found it on Amazon, but anyways, I got it locally, so that was great. And that is actually all the games that I've got this month, because I kinda had to save up some money after spending nearly $2,000 on previous months. So that's it for now, but next month is probably going to be a little bit expensive as well, because there are a lot of game releases coming up, and I will be talking about those in a minute, but first I would like to mention a couple of games that I've played this month, actually 2 of them only. So I think last month I mentioned that I finished Returnal on the PlayStation 5, and this month I've advanced into the DLC, which was Returnal Ascension, which is a roguelike, kind of like a tower ascension type of roguelike. And it was actually really fun. It's very different from the base game, and in some cases it is actually easier, in some cases it is harder, especially as you progress through the levels, because it is kind of an infinite roguelike, so you can go as far as you can possibly can, and I've seen some people go all the way up to like 120 million points, and my best was like 6 million or something like that, so it wasn't too much. But I have finished the DLC in terms of trophies. I've got all the trophies for the DLC. I have unlocked everything there was to unlock, except for all the codex entries, because there are a ton of codex entries, and I think some of them aren't even completable in the DLC, because the DLC is quite different. There is a very limited amount of items you can get, so there are some items that you just cannot finish the codex entry for. If you are playing the DLC, you have to go back to the main game to actually get those, which I didn't really realize at first. I thought I could just forget about some of those items because I will be getting them automatically during playing the DLC, so I don't have to work on those. But turns out I will have to, because the DLC doesn't include all those items. So there are some that you can only get in the base game, there are some that you can also get in the DLC. But if I want to finish the codex entries, which will take a ton of time, actually a ton of time, like 100 hours maybe or something like that, then I will sadly need to go back to the main game. And I'm saying sadly because I really like this DLC. I think this Infinite Tower Ascension type worked really well with this game. Also because the base game was kind of focusing on the story and progressing through it, and now that I finished it, going back to it is, I would say it was kind of boring now, but I guess if I take a little bit of break from the game, then maybe it will be fun again. And another game that I finished this month, surprisingly actually, because I wasn't planning on finishing it this month, but Pokemon Scarlet got on the menu as well, because Nintendo announced an event where you can capture Mewtwo, which was the legendary Pokemon from the first generation, my favorite generation of Pokemon. But the event only ran until I think the 17th of September or something like that, and I realized in order to even participate in the event, you have to finish the game completely. Not just go through the story, but you almost had to 100% the game, or close to 100% the game, in order to even just be able to participate in this event. So I kind of had to rush through the game, or I tried my best to not rush and properly experience the game, because it was actually a really good game, and instead I just tried to accommodate more time for gameplay. So instead of playing the whole game in a very short amount of time, I just spent a lot of time gaming in a very, very short amount of calendar days, if you will. In fact, the last 3 days of the event I've played 30 hours, so that was 10 hours of a day, including Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and I finished, I think, Sunday mid-afternoon or something like that, so I did have quite a bit of time left, but I managed to get Mewtwo a little bit earlier, so I decided to just take a break from the game, because I've spent 30 hours in 48 hours of real time or something like that. But like I said, I really enjoyed it. I will be making a review out of that game. Also, I will be making a review of Returnal and a couple of other games that I've played recently. But it actually ties nicely into the next topic, which is upcoming videos. Because last month I've mentioned that I will be making an anniversary video and a review of this mic that I've purchased, and a couple of other game reviews. But sadly, early September I actually got sick. I couldn't really record videos because the issues that I had was mostly with my throat and my voice, so it was a little bit hard to talk sometimes, and my voice was also non-existent pretty much. So I couldn't really work on videos. Also, I was behind on my working hours, and to be fair, I am still, so I have to spend more time in my day job. And also, like I mentioned, Pokemon Scarlet took a lot of my free time, so sadly I wasn't able to work on these videos, but hopefully this month I will be able to. Or I would like to write a script for these, because I've realized that when I'm talking in front of a camera, I can frequently lose my chain of thought or something like that. So I think it will be better if I just write a script for my upcoming videos, or I will need a teleprompter for that as well, which I currently don't have. But hopefully I can release a couple of videos before the end of the year. I think that's going to be a much more realistic expectation of myself, to just release maybe 3 or 4 videos just this year, before the end of the year, basically, instead of saying I will be releasing them this month or next month. So hopefully I will be able to allocate a little bit more time to working on this, but we'll see. Now last month I've actually added another section to these monthly recaps, where I talk about game releases, games that released in the current month and the games that are going to be released in the next month. And I've realized that it actually took a lot of time to just mention every game. with the dates included. So this month I've decided that I'm just going to put all the dates and names on the screen, and I will be mentioning the ones that I'm actually interested in. So in September, Starfield got released, which was probably the biggest release this month. Although I think Cyberpunk 2.0 is a strong candidate for that title as well, which not only fixed a lot of things with the game, but also added a couple of new things. And we also had Cyberpunk's Phantom Liberty DLC drop this month, so there is a huge upgrade to Cyberpunk. If you haven't played it before because of the bad reviews, I think maybe this would be the time, and this would be the time for me as well. Although I still don't have a strong enough PC to play those, although I guess I could just purchase the PlayStation version and play that one. Now another game that released this month was Mortal Kombat 1, like I've shown before, and Lies of P, which actually seems a little bit better than I expected it to be. I've seen some gameplay on Twitch, and it actually seems kind of appealing to me. Although I'm not really a fan of these types of games where frustration is the level of difficulty. I'm not really a fan of that. I like a challenge, but when the game tries to be purposefully frustrating, I don't really like that. That's why I haven't really played the Dark Souls series much. I've started playing the first game, but I think I put it away for a different game and I kind of forget about it. And that's pretty much my Souls-like experience, except I played two Souls-like games, Kena and Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Both of them which I've really enjoyed. They were challenging in some points. For example, Kena on the hardest difficulty, the Master Spirit Guide, I think was the name of the difficulty, was actually quite challenging for me. But I enjoyed it because whenever I screw something up, it felt like my mistake, not the game trying to be purposefully really hard. So I think Lies of P is a little bit more towards this Dark Souls type of difficulty, which I may not enjoy too much, but watching it on Twitch seems a great game. So maybe that will be something that I will be trying in the future. Now we also had a surprise announcement of F-Zero 99 from Nintendo, which I think is an online version of the original F-Zero. I've seen a lot of people talk about F-Zero like it's a legendary game, it's a great game, but after seeing a couple of gameplay videos, I can't really see the appeal, although maybe I should try it rather than just watch videos about it. I guess that would paint a better picture. But anyways, like you can see on this list, and like I mentioned some of these titles, we had a pretty good month, but the next month might actually be even better. Now starting with Assassin's Creed Mirage, releasing next month, or I guess current month because it is already in October. I will get back to that in a moment. Then the new Forza Motorsport is coming up, and also we have Metal Gear Solid Collection, the first volume, which I think includes the first 4 games, and some of the older titles like the original Game Boy versions, which is followed up by Spider-Man 2, Ghost Runner 2 and Alan Wake 2. All of these are pretty big names. And then we have a couple of Nintendo games as well. Detective Pikachu Returns, which sadly does not include the first game, and they don't seem to be planning on releasing the first game as a remaster, because I think the first game was a Nintendo 3DS exclusive, so you can't really play that on the Switch, which I'm a little bit sad about. I would have loved to see the first game included in it, a remaster, or even just released like separately. I think that would have been great. And then we also have Super Mario Bros. Wonder releasing in October. So we have a lot of big names this month, and what I wanted to mention previously is that I'm talking about games releasing next month, but they are pretty much releasing this month, because by the time I'm uploading this video, it will probably be the middle of October. So maybe I should shift this segment, and in September's recap, maybe I should talk about games releasing in November, and the same thing moving forward, because I usually record these early in the month, talking about the previous month. So by the time I'm recording these, and by the time I'm editing and uploading these videos, I think we are already into like the first half of the month, so mentioning games that are going to be released is kind of a little bit off. So I think starting from next month, maybe I will try to record these videos sooner, or maybe I will try to shift this segment to talk about the next month instead of the current one. I haven't decided which solution would be more appropriate, but I will think about that. And with that, I think we got to the end of the video. It was hopefully a little shorter than usual, but maybe I have talked a little bit too much. I will see how much I will be cutting it out. But hopefully this was at least a little bit shorter video than usually, because my videos tend to be a little bit too long, I think. But I have noticed that some people are watching my recaps, and I'm very thankful for that. So I hope you guys enjoying these videos, and hopefully you will be enjoying the upcoming videos. And thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys have a great October. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.